Here with Bernardo Osuna of ESPN. Thank you so much for your time. I really, truly appreciate it.
My pleasure, brother.
All right. First, I want to ask you, as somebody who does his own translations, I feel like you're the best at that.
Thank you.
You know, like I feel like I'm pretty good, but like you're what I hope to be. How did you get so good as far as translating and interviewing? Because you think of the question, remembering what they're saying it back, then thinking of another question. It's how do you go about that?
Man, I've been doing it since I was a little kid, man. When my mom would bring me those medical notes and be like, "Yo, what do the doctors say?" So translating legal documents and all that. It's been a blessing, man. My parents, they early on taught me and demanded I learn both languages properly. They said, "Habla el español bien and speak English properly." And I think that's been the greatest blessing, the greatest gift they gave me. In terms of, people don't understand that. Like, translating is hard enough, but when you're actually doing an interview, listening to what they're saying so you can follow up if they're taking you a path that you're not expecting, and then being able to translate what they just said while still keeping your questions in mind, it's pretty challenging, but I love what I do, and I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah, no, I too remember negotiating, with somebody over the phone bill over the phone. So you bring that up actually brought me to memory, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe that's why I get it too.
Absolutely. I mean, look, it's an inadvertent gift that we've been given, right, by our parents, and at that point, it's like either you got it right or the phone line was cut off. So and then you had to go into the phone company and have them turn it back on. So it's very cool to be able to now do it as a professional.
So what do you make of the recent rise of Dominican boxing? Besides Joan Guzman, we never really had a top fighter. Like nobody. And I feel like this new crop coming up, whether it be Elvis, Rohan Polanco. There's a kid, Yan Santana, who I'm really high on. He's going to fight on this card. What do you make of the recent rise, and what's your opinion on certain fighters?
It's interesting because I do remember El Abejon Javier Fortuna.
Yes.
I called some of his, showbox fights as well. Look, I think there's two parts. One part is the Cuban influence that has, really helped the Dominican fighters get not only their athleticism, but that chispa, that maybe they were lacking before. So I think, the fact that there's a very close communication and the work that the Cuban trainers have been doing with the Dominican fighters has helped bring them their technical skills to a new level. And then the other thing, I do believe that Dominicans doing well in the amateurs and the Olympics has really helped, but it's all kind of tied together, right? And just the fact that a lot of fighters have moved to Puerto Rico to hone their craft, that's been very helpful, I think, to Dominican boxing as well. So that, brings up fighters like Rohan Polanco, who's on the card today. I'm very interested to see Yan Santana, because he's a fighter who claims that he's a boxer, but he's been blessed with power in both hands. All 11 of his fights have ended by knockout. Elvis Cedeño and his brother are two other fighters who are going to bring up, and do great things for the Dominican fighters. And what about Elvis Rodriguez, a man who 5 fights ago lost on a top-ranked fight card? He was kind of kicked aside, and now Elvis is back in the building and looking for a title shot at 140. So, I'm very hyped about where Dominican boxing is going.
Okay, 2 quick things, and then I'll let you go, I know you gotta go. One, your assessment of the Cuban influence is correct, because the head coach of the national team is from Cuba.
Yeah.
His name is Armando Hernandez, and a lot of the boxers attribute the change to him. And second, and then these will be my last 2 quick questions, is who currently is your favorite Dominican prospect, and who do you think is the current best Dominican champion or contender?
When I look at the prospects, I've seen more of Rohan Polanco. So, I think he's the more advanced fighter in terms of up next. But, Elvis, if he can continue this run, I think he's the best contender right now. Just because he has power, and he's got speed, and he's got Freddie Roach in his corner. So he's got like that upside for becoming a world champion. So I think that would be my answer for the contender and the prospect right now.
All right, well, thank you so much, Bernardo.
I gotta get to work.